Hey there, coin collectors and treasure hunters! Welcome back to the channel. If you're passionate about rare and valuable coins, or maybe you're just looking to make a fortune from your coin collection, then you're in the right place. Today, we're talking about one of the most intriguing and valuable pennies to ever hit the market, the 1967 no-mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny. This coin isn't just a piece of American history, it's a real treasure. And if you've got one of these tucked away in your collection, you could be sitting on a small fortune. So, let's dive into what makes this penny so special, and why it's worth millions. Quick flash of images showing the coin close-up. Let's start with a little history. The 1967 no-mint mark Lincoln penny was struck during a period when coin production was ramping up in the United States. But unlike most pennies that year, this particular coin has a very distinct and rare feature. There's no mint mark. Now, before we get into why that's so important, let's quickly refresh our memory on what mint marks actually are. Mint marks are small letters located on the obverse, that's the front, of the coin, just below the date. They indicate where the coin was minted: Philadelphia, Denver, or San Francisco. For most years, coins minted in Philadelphia didn't have a mint mark, but in 1967, the coins that were struck in Denver had a D, and those from San Francisco had an S. So, what makes the 1967 no-mint mark penny so rare? Well, that mint mark is mysteriously missing. And that's where the intrigue starts. Now, you might be wondering, how does this happen? Well, this no-mint mark error wasn't intentional, and it wasn't a common mistake. In fact, it's believed that a small batch of pennies from the Philadelphia Mint was mistakenly struck without the P mint mark that should have been placed there. These coins were released into circulation without any indication of where they were made, which immediately makes them rare and highly desirable to collectors. You're probably asking, how rare is it? Well, it's estimated that only a few hundred of these 1967 no-mint mark pennies are still in existence today, making them extremely hard to come by. And the fewer there are, the more valuable they become. Let's take a closer look at the actual features of the coin that make it stand out. The 1967 no-mint mark Lincoln penny is similar to other pennies from that year, with Abraham Lincoln's portrait on the obverse and the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse. But remember, it's the absence of the mint mark that's the star of the show. What's interesting is that the 1967 pennies with the mint mark look pretty much identical, so collectors were originally focusing on the regular 1967 coins. But as soon as the no-mint mark error came to light, it opened up a whole new level of interest. The coin was considered a major error, and that's when its true value began to emerge. Collectors started to realize that the coin wasn't just valuable because it was rare, but because of its historical error. Coins with mint errors are often worth much more than their standard counterparts, and this penny became a prime example. Now you're probably wondering, how much is this rare penny actually worth? Well, the value of a 1967 no-mint mark Lincoln penny can range significantly depending on its condition. In general, these pennies can sell for anywhere from a few $1,000s for lower-grade coins, all the way up to millions for the finest examples. But why is it worth so much? It all comes down to rarity, demand, and historical significance. In the world of coin collecting, it's the errors and anomalies that drive prices up. The 1967 no-mint mark penny falls into the category of error coins, and as any serious collector will tell you, these can be worth much more than a regular coin. Some of the higher-grade examples have been known to fetch upwards of $1.7 million at auction, with well-preserved coins even reaching higher values. Think about it, this coin wasn't meant to be produced in the first place. It's a true anomaly. And collectors are willing to pay top dollar for the chance to own a piece of American history that's so rare. Okay, let's say you're out there checking your change or browsing through your coin collection. How do you identify this penny? Well, it's pretty simple, but it does require a keen eye. First, check the year. It has to be 1967. Then, take a close look right beneath the date, where the mint mark would normally appear. If you don't see a D or an S, you've got yourself a 1967 no-mint mark penny. Make sure to inspect it carefully for its condition, too. The better the condition, the higher the potential value. If it's well preserved, Without any heavy wear or damage, you could be sitting on a small fortune. And don't forget, this penny isn't just valuable in perfect condition, it's still worth a lot even if it's a bit worn, though the price will drop accordingly. Before we wrap things up, I want to hear from you. Do you have a 1967 no mint mark penny in your collection, or have you ever come across one? Drop a comment below and let me know. If you found this video helpful, be sure to give it a thumbs up and share it with fellow collectors or anyone who might be interested in the world of rare coins. And hey, don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on more coin tips, rare finds, and ways to turn your collection into a fortune. We're diving into a rare and highly valuable coin that's probably hiding in your spare change right now, the 1970 Lincoln penny. This seemingly ordinary coin might be worth millions depending on its condition and a few unique features, and we're about to explore just why this particular penny has collectors flocking to it. Stick around till the end to find out if you might have one of these gems hiding in your collection. The 1970 Lincoln penny, minted in Denver, holds a special place in the world of rare coins due to a couple of key factors that make it stand out from the rest. But before we get into the specifics, let's talk about the history of the Lincoln penny itself, which is rich in tradition and significance. Since its introduction in 1909, the Lincoln penny has been one of the most iconic coins in American currency, honoring President Abraham Lincoln, the 16th President of the United States. It has undergone several design changes over the years, but the 1970 version is especially fascinating due to a few features that we'll unpack here. In 1970, the U.S. Mint produced over 1 billion Lincoln pennies, which might make it seem like it was just another regular year. But the magic lies in the specific error that occurred during the minting process. This mistake makes some 1970 pennies incredibly valuable. That's right, error coins, whether it's a doubling in the mint mark, a misaligned die, or a completely off-center strike, are some of the most sought-after pieces for collectors. The 1970 Lincoln penny has such a notable error that some of these pennies are worth well over $1 million. So let's talk about what makes this coin so special. Now, the key feature to watch out for with the 1970 Lincoln penny is its mint mark, which is located on the reverse side of the coin, just beneath the date. The mint mark indicates that this coin was produced at the Denver Mint, hence the D. But here's the thing. While most of the 1970 pennies are regular, there's a small group of them that stand out due to the D mint mark being doubled. This is what we call a double die error. And it happens when the die that strikes the coin is misaligned during the minting process, creating a ghostly, double impression of the mint mark. This makes the D look like it's been struck twice, and it's what transforms this penny from a mere cent to a potential treasure. So, why is the 1970 Lincoln penny with the doubled mint mark worth so much? Well, to put it simply, rarity and demand. It's estimated that only a small handful of these error coins exist, making them extremely rare. The value of a 1970 doubled die Lincoln penny can range from several $100s for those in decent condition to over $1 million for those in mint or uncirculated condition. For example, a near-perfect 1970 doubled die penny has been known to sell for up to $1.7 million at auction. Why such a high price? Collectors love these error coins because they represent a mistake in the minting process, and owning one is like holding a piece of history, something that shouldn't exist but does. Not only that, but the 1970 penny is part of a group of coins from the era that has seen a huge increase in demand as more and more collectors search for those rare, error-laden pennies. With only a few thousand believed to still be in circulation, the competition to own one is fierce, driving the price sky-high. So, how can you tell if your 1970 Lincoln penny is one of these rare treasures? Well, there are a few key things to look for. The most obvious clue is the doubled mint mark. The D should look like it's been struck twice, with the second D appearing slightly to the right or left of the original. In some cases, the doubling can also extend to the date itself, especially the number 7 in 1970. If you have a penny in excellent condition, shiny, with sharp, crisp details, and no wear, you could be looking at a small fortune. The condition is critical when determining value, so make sure to handle it carefully and keep it in a safe place. If you think you've found one of these rare coins, the best thing to do is to have it appraised by a professional coin grader. They can authenticate the coin, help you determine its grade, and give you an estimate of its value. As we mentioned earlier, the main reason the 1970 Lincoln penny with the double die error is worth so much is because of its rarity. But there's more to it than that. Collectors love these pennies because they offer a glimpse into the imperfections of the minting process. It's a reminder that even something as simple as a penny can carry value beyond what you'd expect. Additionally, the Lincoln penny is one of the most iconic American coins, making any rare variation, like the 1970 double die penny, highly sought after by numismatists, coin experts, and casual collectors alike. As these rare pennies continue to disappear from circulation, their value will only continue to rise. So, there you have it. The 1970 Lincoln penny with the double die mint mark is not just a piece of history, but potentially a key to unlocking millions of dollars. If you happen to have one of these rare pennies, or if you think you might have stumbled upon one, now is the time to get it checked out. If you enjoyed this deep dive into rare Lincoln pennies and want more coin tips and treasure hunts like this, make sure to subscribe to the channel, give this video a thumbs up, and let me know in the comments if you've ever found a coin that turned out to be worth more than you thought. 1976 No Mint Mark Abraham Lincoln penny. If you're a fan of rare coins, this one will definitely pique your interest. So, grab a seat and get ready for a deep dive into why this penny could be the gem you've been searching for. Let's get started. First, let's set the stage and take a look at the history behind this coin. The 1976 penny was issued during a pivotal year in U.S. history. It marked the bicentennial of the American Revolution. To celebrate this major milestone, there was a focus on commemorating the past, and the U.S. Mint struck millions of pennies that year to keep up with demand. But here's where things get interesting. The 1976 penny is one of the few years where we see a no mint mark version. Let me explain why that's important. Mint marks, that little letter D for Denver or S for San Francisco, indicate where a coin was minted. But for the 1976 penny, there was an issue with some of the production batches at the Philadelphia Mint, and it was struck without the usual mint mark. This makes the coin particularly rare. Now, let's talk about the physical features of the 1976 no mint mark penny. As you can see, it's made of the standard copper-plated zinc, just like other pennies from the era. The obverse, or front, features a classic portrait of Abraham Lincoln, designed by Victor David Brenner. You'll notice the inscription Liberty and the year 1976 prominently displayed, but there's no mint mark after Liberty. This is the key identifier for collectors. The reverse of the coin is the traditional design with a Lincoln memorial, which was used from 1959 to 2008. If you look closely, you'll also see the inscription E pluribus unum, a Latin phrase meaning out of many, one, which is a nod to the unity of the United States. So, why is this coin so rare? Well, as with any valuable coin, it's all about rarity and demand. The 1976 no mint mark penny wasn't intentionally designed to be a rare error, but because of the mix-up at the Philadelphia Mint, it became one. And here's the catch. The total number of these coins that were struck without a mint mark is significantly lower than those with the typical D or S mint marks. Only a small number of these no mint mark pennies made it into circulation, and because of that, they're highly sought after by collectors who are looking for unique, rare coins to add to their collections. Alright, here's the million-dollar question. Why is the 1976 no mint mark penny worth so much? Well, as I mentioned, its rarity plays a huge role. But in addition to that, this coin is also considered to have potential value due to its historical significance. In the world of rare coins, some pennies from the 1970s have reached values in the millions, especially when they are in pristine, uncirculated condition. In fact, a 1976 no mint mark penny in perfect condition can fetch anywhere between $1.5 million to $3 million at auction, depending on the grading and demand. That's right, a simple penny, potentially worth more than your house. The rarity, combined with the fact that it's from a significant year in American history, makes this coin a true gem for collectors. So, How do you identify if you've got a 1976 no mint mark penny worth millions? First, check the obverse for the absence of the mint mark. Then, make sure the coin has the right look for a 1976 penny: no obvious damage, clean details, and a good strike. You want it to be in mint condition, meaning it hasn't been heavily circulated. If you think you've found one of these rare pennies, your best bet is to take it to a certified coin grader. They'll examine the coin for condition and authenticity, which is crucial when determining its value. So, there you have it, the 1976 no mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny. A simple yet fascinating coin that could turn into a life-changing treasure if you find the right one. If you're a coin collector, keep your eyes peeled. You never know when one of these rare pennies might turn up in your change or collection. If you enjoyed learning about this rare Lincoln penny and want to discover more valuable coins, be sure to hit that subscribe button, like this video, and leave a comment below with your thoughts or questions. Do you have a 1976 penny? Let us know. As always, happy collecting, and I'll see you next time. 1977 no mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny, a coin that, if you're lucky enough to have one in your collection, could be worth a lot more than its face value. Now, most pennies are just a few cents, but today, we're talking about a rare exception that has caught the eye of collectors and experts alike. So, buckle up and get ready to uncover the story behind this million-dollar coin. Let's start with a little history. The 1977 Lincoln penny is part of the long-running series that honors President Abraham Lincoln. Since 1909, the Lincoln penny has been one of the most iconic coins in American history, featuring Lincoln's profile on the obverse and the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse. In 1977, the U.S. Mint was hard at work producing billions of pennies to keep up with circulation. But while most of these pennies were struck at the Philadelphia Mint, some special coins came from other mints, like the Denver Mint or San Francisco Mint. Normally, these pennies have a mint mark, either a D for Denver or an S for San Francisco. However, this particular coin, the 1977 no mint mark Lincoln penny, was struck at the Philadelphia Mint, but there's an important detail: it lacks the mint mark entirely. Why does this matter? Well, in 1977, all the pennies struck at the Philadelphia Mint were supposed to have no mint mark. However, there are reports of some coins from that year missing the mint mark entirely. While it may sound strange, this type of error is exactly what makes this penny so valuable to collectors today. Now let's talk about the features of the 1977 no mint mark Lincoln penny. This coin has a diameter of 19.05 millimeters, which is standard for a penny, and weighs in at 2.5 grams. On the obverse, you'll see the familiar bust of President Abraham Lincoln, designed by sculptor Victor David Brenner. You'll notice the phrase, "In God We Trust," at the top, the year 1977, below Lincoln's bust, and the words "Liberty" on the left side. The reverse of the penny features the Lincoln Memorial, designed by Frank Gasparo. The words "E Pluribus Unum" and 1 cent appear above and below the memorial, respectively. So, what's so special about this particular coin? Well, the rarity lies in the absence of the mint mark, which is a key identifying feature for any coin. A mint mark is typically placed to show which mint produced the coin, and its absence on the 1977 penny is what sets this coin apart. Let's talk a bit about mint marks. As you probably know, the U.S. Mint has multiple facilities where coins are produced: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. Coins from Philadelphia traditionally don't have a mint mark, but this 1977 no mint mark Lincoln penny is especially rare because it's believed to be from the Philadelphia Mint, but without the expected P mint mark, while there are other pennies from the year 1977 that are marked with either a D for Denver or a S for San Francisco. The missing mint mark error on the 1977 Lincoln penny is what makes this coin a highly sought-after rarity. Numismatists, that's a fancy word for coin experts, believe that this error happened when the minting dies were damaged or improperly prepared, leading to the missing mint mark. So, why is this seemingly normal penny worth millions of dollars? Well, here's the thing: rarity is key in the world of coin collecting. Most pennies from 1977 are worth only a penny. However, When you come across one of these mint mark errors, it changes everything. Coins that have errors, like missing mint marks, can be highly valuable because they are so rare. A 1977 no mint mark Lincoln penny could be worth upwards of $1 million depending on its condition. Coins in mint condition, that means no wear or damage, can fetch a premium price at auction. But even pennies in less than perfect condition can still be worth a pretty penny. No pun intended. The reason these error coins are so valuable is that they are a fluke. When a minting error happens, the number of such coins in circulation is extremely limited. For example, the 1977 no mint mark Lincoln penny is so rare because only a handful of these coins were made before the mint corrected the error. The value of this coin is driven by collector demand. Coin collectors are always looking for these unique, scarce pieces to complete their collections. And when it comes to valuable errors, having a penny like this one could make a serious difference in your collection's worth. Here's why it's worth millions: collectors, rarity, and historical significance. Coins with errors like missing mint marks are highly coveted. This particular coin's rarity, combined with its error, makes it one of the most valuable Lincoln pennies on the market. It's not just a penny, it's a piece of history with a fascinating story behind it. Now, how do you know if you have a 1977 no mint mark Lincoln penny that's worth millions? First, you need to check for the absence of the mint mark. Look carefully at the spot where the mint mark usually appears, just below the date on the obverse of the coin. If there's no D or S there, you may have one of these rare coins. If you think you have one, the next step is to get it appraised by a professional coin dealer or numismatist. They'll be able to tell you if your penny is genuine and give you an estimated value. So, the 1977 no mint mark Lincoln penny is no ordinary penny. It's an incredibly rare, valuable piece of American history that could be worth millions. If you happen to have one, it might just be your ticket to a significant payday. Keep your eyes peeled and keep those pennies. One might just be worth far more than you think. If you learned something new today, don't forget to like this video, hit that subscribe button, and leave a comment below. Have you ever come across a rare coin in your pocket? Let us know in the comments. 1980 no mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny. This penny may look like just another coin you could find in your change jar, but it actually has a fascinating story, some unusual features, and a shocking value that might surprise you. So, if you're ready to learn how this humble penny can be worth a small fortune, make sure to stick around for the full breakdown. Trust me, you won't want to miss it. But before we get started, don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you never miss out on more valuable coin discoveries. Alright, let's set the stage. The 1980 no mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny might not ring any bells to the average person, but for collectors, it's like finding a treasure in the middle of a pile of loose change. To understand why this penny is so valuable, we need to go back in time and take a quick look at the history of the Lincoln penny itself. The Lincoln penny was first introduced in 1909 to celebrate the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. Designed by Victor David Brenner, the coin features the iconic bust of Lincoln on the obverse, that's the front side. Over the years, there have been many variations and changes to this penny, from different mint marks to design tweaks. Fast forward to 1980, and the US Mint was producing the regular Lincoln penny that we all know. But this year, a small number of pennies were struck without a mint mark. Now you might be thinking, what's the big deal? Well, let's break it down. Typically, US coins are stamped with a mint mark to show where they were produced. The Philadelphia Mint is the only mint that produces coins without a mint mark, so if you find a penny with no mint mark, it's a strong indicator it was made in Philly. However, by 1980, the absence of a mint mark was a rare and unexpected error, especially for coins that were supposed to have one. While the lack of a mint mark may seem like a simple oversight, in the world of coin collecting, this omission is considered a key error. And key errors are highly desirable to collectors because they are rare and often have historical significance. So what makes the 1980 no mint mark penny so valuable? Let's take a closer look at its features. The 1980 no mint mark penny may look ordinary at first glance, but it has some key features that set it apart from the rest. Weight and composition. Like other Lincoln pennies of its time, The 1980 penny is composed of 95% copper and 5% zinc, giving it that classic penny look and feel. The obverse features the famous image of Abraham Lincoln, while the reverse displays the Lincoln Memorial, which has been on pennies since 1959. It's a standard penny size, measuring 19 millimeters in diameter and weighing 3.11 grams. The most important detail here is the absence of a mint mark. The mint mark is supposed to be located under the date, but on this coin, it's simply missing. This mistake has caused quite a stir in the coin community. Now, let's talk about why this penny is so special. Normally, every year, the US Mint produces millions of pennies, but all of them are carefully stamped with a mint mark to indicate where they were made. In 1980, the Philadelphia Mint was producing pennies that were expected to have a PE mint mark, but for some reason, a handful of coins slipped through the cracks without it. This error is extremely rare, and that's what makes the 1980 no mint mark penny so sought after by collectors. It's the type of mistake that only adds to its appeal and value because error coins often have a higher price tag due to their rarity. And when you combine that rarity with the iconic Lincoln penny design, you've got a real treasure on your hands. So, how much is this penny worth? Great question. The value of a 1980 no mint mark Lincoln penny can vary depending on its condition. But in general, these error pennies can fetch anywhere from a few $100s to over $1 million in some extreme cases. A well-preserved, high-quality coin in excellent condition can push the value up significantly. If you're lucky enough to own one in mint condition, it could be worth a small fortune. But, as always, the value of coins depends heavily on the market, condition, and collector demand. So, if you ever come across one of these pennies, make sure to get it appraised to find out its exact value. Now, you might be wondering, why is it worth millions? The reason is simple: rarity, historical significance, and the fact that it's an error coin. The 1980 no mint mark penny was a production mistake, and coins like this are often considered more valuable than regular, mass-produced pennies. People love owning a piece of history, and this coin definitely qualifies as one of those pieces. When collectors are searching for rare coins, the missing mint mark is a red flag of rarity. In the world of coin collecting, error coins like these are sought after because they're not something you can find every day. The combination of historical importance, rarity, and the intrigue of the error itself makes this penny a highly prized possession. So there you have it, folks. The 1980 no mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny. It's not just any penny, it's a coin with an error that makes it worth a potential fortune. From its historical significance to its rare error, this penny is an absolute gem in the world of coin collecting. If you ever find one of these in your change jar or collection, make sure to treat it carefully. It could be worth millions. 1988 no mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny. This little gem has quietly made its mark in the world of numismatics, and if you have one tucked away in your collection, it could be worth millions. Stay tuned to learn why. But first, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and like this video if you're ready to uncover some hidden treasure. Now, let's get started. The 1988 Abraham Lincoln penny might seem like a regular coin at first glance, but when you take a closer look, you realize it has some fascinating stories to tell. The year 1988 marked an important time in U.S. history, with the country experiencing the tail end of the 1980s, a decade of economic growth. But for the coin collectors out there, what really stands out is the series of pennies minted in this era. The Lincoln penny, first introduced in 1909 to commemorate the 100th anniversary of Lincoln's birth, had seen various changes over the years. By 1988, the design remained the same, featuring the famous portrait of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse and the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse. However, what makes the 1988 penny truly unique isn't just the history, but a rare minting error that makes it stand out among its peers. Now, here's where things get really interesting: the 1988 no mint mark penny. If you take a look at most pennies from this era, you'll see a small D or S stamped near the bottom of the obverse side, just below the date. That D indicates it was minted in Denver, while the S marks coins minted in San Francisco. But here's the kicker: the 1988 no mint mark penny is missing this stamp entirely. That's right. This particular penny has no mint mark, and it's believed to have been struck at the Philadelphia Mint. So why is this such a big deal? The answer lies in the rarity. Typically, the Philadelphia Mint produces pennies with a mint mark, but in some rare instances, the coins are struck without one. These no mint mark errors are highly sought after by collectors because they are not as common as their counterparts. You might be wondering, isn't a missing mint mark just a simple mistake? Why is it worth so much? Well, here's the thing. Coin errors like this one can dramatically increase a coin's value. A mint mark error is often considered an anomaly in the world of numismatics. While these errors can sometimes occur in other coins, the 1988 no mint mark Lincoln penny is particularly rare. This is because the Philadelphia Mint was actively producing pennies with the mint mark for that year, so the coins that were mistakenly struck without the mint mark are very limited. To add even more intrigue, collectors often look at these errors not just as coins, but as pieces of history, often assigning higher values to coins that have a unique story behind them. And because so few of these 1988 pennies were struck without the mint mark, finding one in good condition is akin to finding a needle in a haystack. Now, when it comes to value, condition is king. Just like with any collectible, the grade of the coin can make all the difference in how much it's worth. Coin collectors use a grading scale known as the Sheldon scale, where coins are graded from 1 to 70, with 70 being a perfect coin. A mint state 65 or higher 1988 no mint mark penny can easily fetch a premium price. Coins with scratches, dents, or heavy wear will generally sell for less, but they are still valuable to the right collector. A well-preserved 1988 no mint mark Lincoln penny could be worth $1 million or even more depending on its grade. So, how much could your 1988 no mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny be worth? The value of rare coins can fluctuate based on market demand, but as of recent sales, the value of this coin can range dramatically. Here's a breakdown. A well-circulated 1988 no mint mark penny can still sell for around $10,000 to $20,000. In highly sought-after condition, these coins can command upwards of $1 million at auctions, especially if they are graded as MS67 or higher. Now, if you find one in perfect condition, we're talking about a coin that's practically flawless. You could be sitting on a true gold mine. These rarities have sold at auctions for over $2 million. Making them among the most valuable modern-day pennies. Segment 6. Why it's worth millions. What makes it so special? But why are these coins worth so much? It's not just the minting error, but also the historical significance and scarcity. Coins with unique characteristics, especially those with minting errors, tend to gain value because of how few are available on the market. In fact, the 1988 no mint mark penny isn't just a piece of change. It's a piece of history. The rarity, the error, and the demand for such a coin make it a highly prized item among collectors. If you've got one of these in your collection, you're holding on to a treasure that could bring in millions when the time is right. So, the next time you're going through your pocket change or rummaging through your coin jar, keep an eye out for that elusive 1988 no mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny. It could very well be the key to unlocking a fortune. If you enjoyed learning about this rare and valuable coin, be sure to subscribe to the channel for more awesome tips and coin insights. 1994 no mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny, a coin that could be worth millions of dollars. Yes, you heard that right, millions. So, let's take a deep dive into why this small coin is one of the most sought-after treasures in the world of numismatics. Stay tuned till the end for all the important details. Now, you may be wondering, what makes the 1994 no mint mark penny so special? Well, let's start with a little bit of history. The Lincoln cent, or penny, has been in circulation since 1909, honoring President Abraham Lincoln. Over the decades, this coin has seen many variations, from different designs to various mint marks. Normally, every U.S. coin is stamped with a mint mark that tells you where it was made, the D for Denver, S for San Francisco, and the P for Philadelphia. But the 1994 no mint mark penny? Well, that's a bit of a mystery. In 1994, a series of Lincoln pennies were accidentally struck without any mint mark. This was highly unusual because all the other pennies produced that year had a D or an S, indicating the minting location. So, when people started noticing that some of these pennies were missing their mint marks, they began to wonder if this was a mistake, a rare error, or something even more significant. The 1994 no mint mark penny is considered one of the most famous mint error coins in recent history. But what really makes it stand out from other coin errors is its rarity. After all, it's not every day you find a penny with such a unique flaw. In fact, some believe that only a handful of these error coins exist, making them incredibly valuable. But why are these pennies so valuable? Let's take a closer look at the features of this rare coin. The 1994 no mint mark Lincoln penny looks just like a standard 1994 penny at first glance. It features the famous portrait of Abraham Lincoln by Victor David Brenner on the obverse, with the date 1994, and the words Liberty and In God We Trust. On the reverse, you'll find the familiar image of the Lincoln Memorial, which has been a staple of the Lincoln penny design since 1959. But here's the kicker: there's no mint mark anywhere. Normally, the mint mark would be located just below the date, either in S for San Francisco or D for Denver, depending on where it was struck. But the 1994 no mint mark penny? It's completely blank in that spot. That's a key feature that sets it apart from regular coins. So, how does this affect its value? Well, the rarity and the error nature of this coin make it highly sought after by collectors. Because there were so few of them struck, and likely very few survived in good condition, the 1994 no mint mark Lincoln penny can fetch a pretty penny, pun intended. Depending on the coin's condition and whether it has been professionally graded, its value can range from a few $1,000s to a staggering amount. Some of these coins have been known to sell for upwards of $100,000, and in some rare cases, even more. In fact, there have been reports of well-preserved versions being auctioned off for as much as $250,000 in recent years. It's that rare and valuable, and it's not just about the error, it's about the story behind the coin. The thrill of finding something so unique is what drives collectors to seek out this penny. If you happen to find one of these 1994 no mint mark pennies in your pocket change, you're holding a piece of American numismatic history. So, what should you do if you think you've got one of these coins? First, check your penny carefully. Make sure it's from 1994 and, most importantly, verify that it doesn't have any mint mark under the date. If it does, you might just be holding on to a rare treasure. But remember, condition is key when it comes to determining the coin's value. Pennies that are well preserved, with minimal wear, are the ones that fetch the highest prices. If you suspect that your coin is a 1994 no mint mark penny, get it graded by a professional numismatist or a grading service like the PCGS or NGC to know its true value. So, now that you know the story behind the 1994 no mint mark penny, keep an eye out for this rare and valuable coin. It could be sitting right under your nose, waiting to make you a millionaire. And who knows? You might just be the next lucky collector to strike it big. If you enjoyed this video and want to learn more about rare and valuable coins, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, give us a thumbs up, and leave a comment down below if you've ever found a rare coin yourself. We love hearing your stories. 2004 no mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny. This little copper treasure has been known to fetch a staggering price at auction, sometimes worth millions of dollars. So, what makes this seemingly ordinary penny so special? Stick around, because we're about to uncover the fascinating history, features, and the reason why some collectors are willing to pay big bucks for this coin. First, let's take a look at the history behind the 2004 Lincoln penny. In 2004, the U.S. Mint released the Lincoln penny to mark the 150th anniversary of President Abraham Lincoln's birth. As part of this special release, the penny featured a new design, a beautiful, detailed depiction of Lincoln's portrait on the obverse, designed by Victor David Brenner, who originally designed the penny back in 1909. However, the real story begins with the coin's mint mark. You see, most coins produced by the U.S. Mint feature a mint mark to indicate where they were made, either Philadelphia, P, Denver, D, or San Francisco, S. But in 2004, a small number of pennies were released without any mint mark at all. These coins were produced at the Philadelphia Mint, and they didn't have the usual P mint mark. This rare no mint mark feature is what truly sets this coin apart and makes it so sought after by collectors. Now, let's talk about the physical features of the 2004 Lincoln penny. The coin features a striking portrait of Abraham Lincoln, one of America's most revered presidents. The inscription around the rim reads, "Liberty in God we trust," and the year 2004. The reverse features a design based on the Lincoln Memorial, a symbol of Lincoln's legacy. The reverse inscription reads, "E pluribus unum," and "United States of America," along with 1 cent. Like most pennies, the 2004 penny is composed of 97.5% zinc and 2.5% copper, and it weighs 2.5 grams. It's about 19.05 millimeters in diameter, but it's not the basic design or the features that make the 2004 no mint mark penny so valuable. It's a rare era coin that drives the value through the roof. You might be thinking, wait, a missing mint mark? That sounds like an error. And you're right. The absence of the mint mark on the 2004 penny makes it an error coin, and error coins are highly prized among collectors. Coins without mint marks are incredibly rare because the US Mint has a pretty strict process when it comes to stamping coins. In most cases, if a coin is missing its mint mark, it's because of a mistake in the minting process, something that only happens occasionally. While the 2004 Philadelphia pennies were meant to carry a P mint mark, a small number were mistakenly struck without it.so. Why does this matter? Well, error coins like this are valuable because of their rarity. Imagine how many pennies were minted in 2004 with a P mint mark, and then think about how few of those missing a mint mark were actually released into circulation. That's what makes this penny so rare and valuable. So, why is the 2004 no mint mark Lincoln penny worth millions? It all comes down to scarcity and demand. The rarer the coin, the more valuable it becomes. This particular penny has become a grail for collectors. Even though the coin is from a fairly recent year, the fact that only a small number of them were made makes it incredibly desirable. In fact, in recent auctions, some of these coins have sold for up to $2 million. Yes, you heard that right, $2 million for a single penny. The value can vary based on the condition of the coin. The higher the grade, the more it's worth, but even coins in lower grades have been known to fetch impressive sums, sometimes reaching into the hundreds of thousands of dollars. Collectors and investors are willing to pay top dollar because of the uniqueness of this coin. There aren't many like it, and that scarcity drives the demand. Remember, there's only a small number of these 2004 no mint mark Lincoln pennies out there, so if you have one in your collection, you might be holding on to a small fortune. Now that you know how valuable this penny can be, here's how to check if you have one. Flip your coin over and check the reverse. If you don't see a P mint mark next to the date, you've got a 2004 no mint mark penny on your hands. The higher the grade or condition of the coin, the more valuable it will be. Coins with little wear and tear, often graded as MS67 or higher, can command a much higher price. If you think you have one of these rare pennies, it's a good idea to have it professionally graded by a reputable service like PCGS or NGC. A professional grade can help determine its true value and increase its desirability to potential buyers. So there you have it, everything you need to know about the 2004 no mint mark Lincoln penny, and why it could be worth millions. Who knew such a small mistake could lead to such a huge payout, right? If you think you've found one of these rare pennies, make sure to get it checked by a professional. You might be sitting on a small fortune. And if you enjoyed this video and learned something new today, don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment below. Let me know if you've ever come across a rare coin in your collection, or if there's another coin you'd like to know more about. I'd love to hear from you.